My name is Robert Henderson. I'm Associate Professor of Linguistics here at the University of Arizona, and I'm also the Director of Graduate Studies for the Department of Linguistics. Yeah, so in my research, I've discovered that we can use logics that have been used to study how, for instance, computer languages work in order to better understand how human languages work. Well, I became first interested when I was an undergraduate. I had the opportunity to take some logic classes, including some advanced ones in the graduate program. And what I discovered was that a lot of the interesting examples that they used in these classes came from language. And so I became interested in trying to use logic to better understand how human languages work. I think I was inspired mostly by my parents. They were always very good about books. So if I ever wanted a book on science or math or technology, they would always get it for me. They never said no. And I think that gave me the inspiration to, I don't know, try to figure things out and made me want to be a scientist and a researcher. Well, I teach Ling 123, so Linguistics 123, which is called Introduction to Mathematical Approaches to Language. I highly recommend it. It's a general education a requirement math course, so you can take it to fulfill one of the strands for your mathematics general education. The other main undergraduate course I teach is Linguistics 364, which is the Introduction to Formal Semantics, which is a more in-depth class looking at logic and language from a linguistics perspective. Yeah, one of the great things about linguistics is that we study something we all have. So I'm talking to you right now. Presumably you understand me, which means you speak English. That means you have English in your brain, right? English is inside your mind somewhere. And that's true in all of our classes. Our students speak languages. So one of the cool things we can do in linguistics is we actually study the language of the people in the course. So instead of having to go out and collect data, we can actually collect data in the classroom. And I think it makes the subject come to life because students are actually studying their own languages that they have in their minds. My book, which is coming out this summer, is called Signaling Without Saying, The Semantics and Pragmatics of Dog Whistles. And I think the best overview of the book would be to look at that word dog whistle. So where it comes from is, well, it's a metaphor. You can imagine a whistle that has a frequency that's really high, and a human can't hear it, but a dog can. And so that's the metaphor we use in this book to study sort of messages in conversation that certain listeners can hear, but others can't. So that's sort of the topic of the book, which is to study these sort of covert styles of communication, sort of secret messages that you can send to one audience but not the other. And we explore the use of dog whistles from sort of a game theoretic perspective using game theory. Yeah, we were motivated to write this book, my co-author and I, Ellen. We were motivated because it was a very big topic. This is sort of a type of communication you find everywhere. You find it in advertising, you find it in media, you find it sort of across all types of language use. And so it's a fun topic to work on because it's so big and it touches on so many different aspects of life. My takeaway would be I hope everyone familiarizes themselves with lots of different books, lots of different points of view, worldviews, reads voraciously, and learns how different kinds of people talk. And if you do that, you will get more out of things you read and hear. Moby Dick. Always read the manual. My sketchbook. I like to draw. Japan. I like to play chess. It's one thing I'm proud of is that my research has been supported by the National Science Foundation for every year since I've been here at the University of Arizona, which I started in 2015.